rocks or at sea, for the saints of God are just folk like me, and I mean to be one too. Whoa! Happy New Year!
Friend, I've been waiting for you. Come on in. Each day, we've had amazing adventures together and fun. At least I hope you've had fun. I guess you will get out of this what you put into it. By now you should be very familiar with our Narnian story, but still, if you need a little brush up, you can go and check out our past Vacation Bible School, Aslan is on the Move, or see the first 2 books that were read on video of the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and the first story of Prince Caspian. Our channel is Historic Holy Trinity Church of Covina. Hopefully you have your activity book, your craft bag, and you're wearing your Vacation Bible School t-shirt. You can now pause the video if you need to and put your t-shirt on, but I'm pretty sure you are proudly wearing it even now. All right, let's continue our final adventure together.
Welcome to Aslan's table. Why haven't you eaten?
Because we were worried the food would be enchanted and would be asleep like the Lords.
The Lord's never tasted this.
Then how do we break the spell?
My father will teach you.
At that moment, her father, an old man with silver hair who seemed to emit light, emerged mysteriously. His name was Ramandu. Ramandu and his daughter faced the east and sang a song as the sun rose. It was so beautiful that you did not want it to end. A flock of birds flew out of the sun and consumed all the leftover food. Ramandu and his daughter explained that the Lords had argued about whether to sail further east, sail back home, or stay on the island. And when one of them touched the stone knife lying on the table, they were enchanted for their own protection. This was the very same stone knife that was used to kill Aslan the lion in the story The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Ramandu explained that to break the spell, they must sail as far east as possible and leave at least one person behind. Caspian agrees to this and convinces the ship's crew to come with him. Now they have found the 3 remaining Lords. All 7 are accounted for. The Dawn Treader sets out to sail to the extreme eastern edge of the world. At one point, Lucy looks down and sees warlike sea people in the water. The captain warns her not to tell the men about them so that they aren't tempted to jump overboard with fright. Reepicheep, feeling challenged by a warlike king and the sea people, does leap into the ocean, but is quickly distracted by discovering that the water is fresh and sweet and not salty. This is a sign that the prophecy spoken over him when he was a baby is coming true. Everyone drinks of the water and feels refreshed and healthy.
I am feeling stronger.
As they get further east, they get closer to the sun, and everything gets almost unbearably bright, but the water seems to help them withstand the light. The ship sails into a mass of white water lilies growing up in all directions. Soon they come to a place too shallow for the ship to continue. Caspian wants to go on with Reepicheep, but Aslan reminds him that it's his duty to go back and rule Narnia. Reepicheep, Edmund, Eustace, and Lucy set out in a small boat and debark the Dawn Treader, and the Dawn Treader sails back toward Ramandu's island. After 3 days of walking, they find themselves looking at a wall of water 30 feet high, flowing ever upwards. Beyond it, they believe they can see the enormous green mountains of Aslan's country. Reepicheep goes on toward the wall of water in a small boat. He is borne upwards and upwards and upwards and disappears. The children wade south and come to a glassy blue wall. They meet a lamb who offers them a meal of roasted fish and then reveals himself to be Aslan. Aslan sends the children back to their own world, explaining that they must get to know him there under another name. And he tells Edmund and Lucy that they will never return to Narnia, but leaves open the possibility that Eustace might come back someday. King Caspian and the crew of the ship of the Dawn Treader sail back to Ramandu's island. King Caspian and the ship's crew of the Dawn Treader sail back west to Ramandu's island.
Hi, boys and girls. We're back again. It's day 5. In your packets, you will have a bag that has several different kinds of beads. It has some string, and it also has some directions on how to make this cross, and it has a bookmark. And the bookmark says, "Adventures are never fun while you're having them." C.S. Lewis, Voyage of the Dawn Treader. On the back, it says, Holy Trinity Episcopal Church, Virtual Vacation Bible School, August 2021. So this is your memory. We're going to make a cross, and it's going to be attached to your bookmark that you can put in your reading book. You can put it in your school book. You can put it in your comic book. You could put it in your any kind of book you want to. It's a bookmark and it's yours. And we have with us today Jen. Jen is our friend, and she's going to help us. She's going to make one of these with us. They're kind of fun. Now, she has a piece of string that is already cut. Your string is not cut. So you're going to have to take a nice long piece of string, because you don't want to have too little piece of string, otherwise you'll have to cut some more. Now, when you open up your bag, you have a whole lot of different beads. There's different colors, there's even some different sizes. So go ahead and pick out whatever color you want for your first. You don't want that on there yet. Don't put that on there yet. First thing we're going to do is put the, take one string and one bead. I'm going to take a light purple bead because I just think it's kind of pretty, but any color that you want is great with me, and you can make them in any shape. So just stick that one right at the very bottom and make your ends equal. So this is going to be your anchor. It's going to hold everything together. The next color that you want, you're going to put both of your strings together and put both strings through one bead. Now, You see that bead's not going to slide off the bottom? Where's your bead? Okay, put your second bead on. Now you have to make sure that both of your strings go through that second bead, otherwise that second bead is going to fall off. Okay, we're slipping the second bead on and we're using both of the strings to go through that second bead. Take another bead, any color that you want, and you want both strings to go through that bead also, and then let it go all the way down. So now you should have 3 beads. Now you can make your cross as long as you want to. I'm going to put 4 beads on mine. What about you, Jen? You want to put 4 beads on? Oh, wait a second. You need to take that one back off because both of them have to go through here.
See if we don't mess up.
Yeah, we all mess up. We all mess up. No problem whatsoever. Okay, we all make mistakes and we all have a little bit of a mess up here, so that's okay. We're going to get both of those strings in, and sometimes the strings get a little bit frayed and it makes it hard to go in. So what you want to do is take your scissors and just cut the little ends off so that the ends are real straight.
Or you can twist them.
Or you can twist them, absolutely. So I'm going to put a 4th bead on mine. And I'm actually going to put a 5th bead on there. But you can start and stop as many beads as you would like. So I now have 5 beads on mine. How about you, Jen? How many do you want on yours?
After 6.
Okay, you need to take that one off because they both have to go through there. And here, let me just cut the ends off of this because it comes unraveled very easily. Now at this point, we want to separate both of the strings. How you doing there, Jen? How's it working? Okay.
These little fish arms.
Okay, now I'm going to take just one of the strings. I'm going to stick a bead on there and let it go down. And now I'm going to put 2 more beads on there using just that one single string. So I have 3 beads on that one. Now I'm going to take the other side and take that string, and I'm going to put 3 different beads on that side. And again, you can pick any colors that you want. If you want them all the same color, you want them different colors, whatever works for you is just absolutely fine. It'll look beautiful when you get finished. Okay, now I have something that looks kind of like a T. I have my 5 beads going down, 3 beads on one side, 3 beads on the other side, and I'm putting them together. Now this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. I need you to take your string and that last bead that you have on the side, pretend like it's not there. Now put your string through the next bead, and then, since I had 3, it has to go through the bead next to that one too. So what we have done is we have made this bottom bead there's the very first bead. It's going to be an anchor bead, just like the bottom of our cross, where I had the 5 of them, and the beads couldn't fall off. Well, the same thing is happening here. That bead cannot come off. Now, since I picked that up to show you, my 3 beads on the other side fell off, but I'm just going to slide them right back on again. And this time, the very end bead, we do not want to put the string through. You want to put the string through the next 2 beads that we put on there. So we have that last bead as an anchor so they won't fall off. Now, if this is a little bit confusing, I did put some directions in there so that can help you, and maybe an older brother or sister or mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or somebody can help you do this if it gets a little bit confusing. That's okay. I've made a couple of these, so I kind of know what I'm doing on them. But that doesn't mean I did it right the first time, because I sure didn't. If anybody saw me making a boat, you all know how I can mess up things when I'm doing a craft project. Now I'm putting both of my strings together again, and I'm going to stick another bead on. Keeping both of my strings together again, I want to put another bead on. And my ends are getting a little bit frayed, so I'm going to cut the edges off again. And that's okay, we have a really long string, so that's not going to cause a problem. And I think I'm going to do, let me think. Let me see how many we have on here and how that looks. Now these look a little better when they're laying down so you can see it. So I have 3 on this arm, 3 on this arm, 3 on the top, and then I have 5 on the bottom. But maybe you might want to put 6 or 7 on the bottom to make it even longer. And if you want to take it apart and start all over again and do different colors or different lengths, you can do that. It's easy peasy. Now, I would suggest making a knot so that these don't all fall off. And you can make your knot any way that works for you. Some people make knots by rolling them off your fingers. Some people make a knot by the same way you do shoes. If anybody ever put a knot in your shoes and your mom or your dad had to get that knot out, well, that happens sometimes. Now you're going to want to take your bookmark, and in our bookmark, you'll have a little hole in there, and you can stick your strings through that hole. And again, you can make another, I don't want this to be too close to the edge of my bookmark because I don't want it to get caught in the book itself. So I'm going to make my knot just a little bit away from where the beads are. So I can stick this inside my book, and I just happen to have one of these wonderful booklets that we're going to talk about in just a minute. And I can put my bookmark inside there so I don't lose my place. And I can have my cross right on the outside of my book. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, I just want to talk about these books a little bit because we haven't had an opportunity to do that yet. Inside the book, the very first page is our shanty song. And everybody remembers the shanty? Okay, very good. Then, you might remember if you came to VBS last year and we sang the Song of the Saints, this is the words to that, and this song is also sung during this Vacation Bible School. Then on day 1, we have some activities. You know, it's easier turning pages when it's not upside down. This is a map of Narnia, and all of the 7 islands. We've visited 5 of those islands this week, so you can see all of those islands on here. here's just a coloring ship. You can do that at any time that you would like to. Maybe some of you have already done these activities inside the book, and some of them are really fun, some of them are kind of tough. Does anybody remember who these people are? This is Edmund and Lucy. We had our own Edmund and Lucy. They were really cool. Day 2, there's Aslan. And you may remember Aslan from last year when we did the Witch and the Wardrobe and the Lion. That's our Aslan. And this is the adventure of the Dawn Treader. This is a passport. All of us are being pirates while we're on our ship, and you can fill this out day by day as you go through and which islands you're going to visit on any given day. Reepicheep. Everybody remember who Reepicheep was? What happened to Reepicheep? Does anybody remember? What happened to Reepicheep? Do you remember?
He ascended into heaven.
What happened?
He ascended into heaven.
He went to heaven. He did. Yes, he did. How many of you know how to do the I Spy, the Where's Waldo? Well, here are all the things that you're looking for. You can color those in as you go. This is one of my all-time favorite pages. All of us have a name. My name is Kathy. Her name is Jen. But we have a pirate name. And if you look inside here, that first section, the first letter of your first name, and mine is K, and the first letter of the last name, mine is S, and the month that you were born, mine is May, that's going to tell me what my pirate name is. Excuse me. So my pirate name would be, let's see, K, Scallywag, S, Rat, and Blackwater. Scallywag, Rat, Blackwater. That is my pirate name. Jen. Excuse me. Your first name begins with a J, so it's Fluffy Bucket. What's your last name?
G. Gonzalez.
G. Sailor. And what month were you born?
May.
Nope, same as mine. Blackwater. Okay, Jen's name begins with a J, so she's Fluffy Bucket, and the last name is J.G. for Sailor, and she's also a May, so that's Blackwater. So she's Scallywag, Sailor, Blackwater. So you can all figure out what your pirate names are. Those are always fun. And on day 4, we all know how to do these. Just start with your number 1 and work your way all the way around to find out what you are making. Now, this is not a project for kindergartners or first graders. I'm not sure that it's even a project for somebody as old as I am, because this one is a tough one. It's a crossword puzzle. So you might even need to have a magnifying glass to see some of those words. They are really tiny. But if you're good at doing schoolwork, this might be yours. And the last one is a coloring sheet. And this is Reepicheep's verse. Where sky and water meet, where the waves grow sweet, doubt not, Reepicheep, to find all you seek. There is the utter east. And this is our closing, and you may read this with your mom, your dad, your older brother, or your sister. Aslan has a special message of closing for you. And I'd like to take just a couple of minutes to say a special thanks to Father Steve. Without him, none of this could be happening. Special thanks to Jesus for having so much patience, even when he's not working, to videotape this. For people like Jen, people like Paco, all of the people that have made this so great. And I can't thank you enough. I'm so glad that all of you kids came back again this year, and hopefully next year we can do this in person. Goodbye.
Back in the castle of Cair Paravel in the throne room, King Caspian and his new bride, Ramandu's daughter, welcomed the brave ship's crew for completing their quest and finding the lost lords of Narnia. Their adventure has been a success. Thank you for being with us for this past week, for the adventures of the Dawn Treader, for our cast and crew, and for all of you who have joined us on this journey. Thank you. We hope you've had as much fun and craziness as we've had. I hope we can put together a roll of bloopers and see all the crazy things that happen beyond the scenes. But just know from us to you, God bless you and thank you for being part of this. And let's hear it for Miss Kathy in charge of all of that.
This is just a reminder. Every one of you in your packet has a booklet. In the booklet, there are coloring pages, there's activity pages, there's all kinds of fun things to do. But in your package, you also have craft projects for each day of the week. When you complete all of your projects, please make a picture of them and then send them to us here at the church, and then we're going to forward a certificate in your name saying that you have completed it. Father Steve, where do they need to send it?
Send your pictures of your completed projects to Holy Trinity Covina at yahoo.com. That's Holy Trinity Covina at yahoo.com. And before we leave, I want to offer you a blessing from here at Holy Trinity Church in the throne room of Cair Paravel with none other than the King of Narnia and the Queen of Narnia and all of you and the ship's crew. And may the peace of God, which passes all understanding, keep your hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of God and of His Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be with you and remain with you this day and always. Once more, congratulations for completing your adventure.
I sing a song of the saints of God, patient, brave, and true, who toiled and fought and lived and died for the Lord they loved and knew. And one was a doctor, and one was a queen, and one was the shepherd, his son the green. They were all of them saints of God, and I mean God helping to be one too. They love their Lord so dear, and His love made them strong. They follow the right for Jesus' sake, the whole of their good lives long. And one was a soldier, and one was a priest, and one was slain by a fierce wild beast. And there's aught only reason, for no, not the least, why I shouldn't be one too. They live not only in ages past, there are hundreds of thousands still. The world is bright with the joyous saints who love to do Jesus' will. You can meet them in school or in lanes or at sea. shops or at sea, for the saints of God are just folk like me.